Smoke out! Enemy mark!
What's going on, YouTubers? I want to explain to you my top 5 favorite weapons in Gears of War 4, and I want to explain to you guys why they're my top 5 favorite weapons. But to start things out, guys, I'm going to start from the bottom to the top. So, number 5, I'm going to have to say my 5th favorite weapon in the whole entire game is the Hammer Burst, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. Now, the reason why this is my 5th favorite weapon is because it's so effective long and mid-range. Now, even when active reloading, it just causes so much crazy damage. And if you practice this weapon a lot and you use it for certain maps that are very effective for long and mid-range, then this weapon becomes very devastating. It's just very hard to even stop this rifle once you get shot down. But I use it for main maps like Rust Long or Blood Drive, sometimes Gridlock, but it still has strength and weaknesses. The weakness of this weapon obviously is that if someone's rushing you at close range, you're not going to be able to down a person fast enough. The strengths obviously is that if somebody's far range and he's using a Lancer, you're going to be able to beat him most of the time with the Hammer Burst, unless he shoots you before you shoot him, obviously. But remember, once active reloading, you can tap bar the living shit out of this weapon, and it downs people so fast. Not only that, guys, you gotta remember there's not many rounds in the mag, so you have to compensate how you get down somebody. The most people you can really down them is 2 people, compared to the Lancer when you can down at least 3 or 4 people sometimes if you're lucky enough. But like I said, the reason why it's my 5th weapon because this is so effective, and I know how to use it at the right time in certain maps. But many people probably don't agree with me with the Hammer Burst, but I absolutely love this weapon. Remember, once using this weapon, you have to stand still perfectly still, because if you don't, then you're not really following the shots much. If you constantly move with the Hammer Burst and try to fire, it doesn't become very effective, and sometimes the rounds don't land on the person. Remember, it's 3 rounds out of the mag, so... And try your hardest to get a headshot, because when you're scoring headshots with the Hammer Burst, it downs the opponent so fast. It's absolutely insane. I'm very surprised they took this approach with a 3-round burst rifle. I never thought I could see this in Gears of War 4. So I guess Coalition was very bored and just said to itself, you know what, let's change the Hammer Burst. Let's put 3 rounds and let's see how it goes. But my favorite Hammer Burst of all Gears of Wars is probably Gears of War 3. It was the coolest in my opinion, but I like Gears of War 4s a lot. I like it better than Gears of War 1s, I tell you that. Man, Gears of War 1 Hammer Burst, it was very beyond useless. Many people didn't use it, except for campaign, but for multiplayer, it just didn't do the job whatsoever. My next favorite weapon, which is number 4, is the Lancer. For many reasons, I absolutely love this assault rifle. It's probably my favorite assault rifle out of any game in history, basically, compared to Halo and other games, but... Man, the Lancer just does everything you could possibly imagine. It has a big round, reloads very fast. When active reloading causes even more damage, and it has a chainsaw. It doesn't get more insane than that. The weapon has a pretty good rate of fire. It's very accurate too. Not of course against over the Hammer Burst, but for most of the scenarios, the Lancer, it's a better weapon than the Hammer Burst in my opinion, because it's just way more versatile and has a bigger round, and certain maps it requires you to get to a lot closer than the Hammer Burst, and the Lancer is just going to do more work in the long run. But as you guys can see, the way I really use the Lancer is I like to hold corners and crossfire and stop people from picking on power weapons when I can't push them with a shotgun, and it just does everything I wanted to do. It's just a perfect assault rifle in my opinion, and I hope Coalition doesn't continue changing it, because you guys remember it used to be 60 rounds in the mag. Now they really made it 40s because Well, Gears of War 4 is one of the highest damage percentage of all Gears of War games. There's something about Gears of War that downs people so much faster. And Call of Duty decided to make the decision to just make the weapon weaker and just have less rounds in mag. But I guess it's a good balance towards the game. But guys, this is why it's number 4 on my list. I absolutely love this weapon. It does everything I want to do, and it's a kick-ass assault rifle. Now, number 3 on my list is a Natural Shotgun, and I'm sure some people are very surprised that this is number 3 on my list. I'm very sure some people thought it was number 1, but nope, it's number 3 for me. But who doesn't love this weapon? It's basically the most famous gun in the whole Gears of War series. And basically, it scores the most kills out of all Gears of War games compared to other weapons. I remember there's this like, how should I explain this? There's like a, if you go online, you're able to see which players use the most guns to kill people on some website. I think it was like gearsofwar.com or one of the websites, and you always see the Natural Shotgun be on top. It's you know, guys, come on, man. Basically, the Natural Shotgun's like the battle rifle for Halo. That makes sense for anybody that's played Halo, obviously. But I absolutely love this weapon. It helps you go through so much, and basically I clutch many times with this weapon and scoring a lot of multi-kills with this. Without this weapon, you can't go through much, and nobody's dumb enough to give this weapon away. 99% of the time that people pick up weapons, give up their rifles. They don't give up their Natural Shotgun. It doesn't make any sense to drop the Natural Shotgun. So basically, the Natural Shotgun is basically like the tip of the spear of Gears of War. It's just follows everything towards this game. And the truth is, if you can't practice or be really good using this weapon, then you're not gonna be able to survive in Gears of War. You're like basically, you have no chance playing against people in Gears of War. It's just impossible. This gun follows everything towards this. So the Natural Shotgun is the center of all weapons. Some people may think the Lancer, since the Lancer was our first weapon to be introduced in Gears of War, but nope, it's the Natural Shotgun, unfortunately. And if you just can't learn this weapon, then there's no reason to play Gears of War. It's absolutely insane. But of course, you won't be able to master this weapon one day. If you're really into this game, by far, you'll be able to learn how to use this weapon in the long run. And, but I may seem like I'm saying it's very easy to use it, but man, I've been playing Gears of War since the launch day. The first goddamn Gears of War, man. Brings back so much good memories. So using that shotgun to me is a breeze because all the years I put in every single Gears of War. Probably the Judgment's probably the only Gears of War I didn't play, and Gears of War 2 was the least played game of all of them for me. I put so much hours for the first Gears of War and the third Gears of War. But for people that don't like using a Natural Shotgun, something's really wrong with you. But this weapon is just God to me, and it's the reason why I'm still staying most of the time in the game, and the reason why I'm able to clutch gains because I know how to use this powerful weapon, when to one-shot people, or how to wall balance and battle against people with a shotgun. It's just so phenomenal when you know how to use this weapon. It's just a breeze once you get used to it. Now my favorite second weapon has to be the Marksman MK1. Now I absolutely love this rifle. This is the first time I've been using it since, well, I never used it in Gears of War Judgment, but this game, yes, this is my first time using it. It's Gears of War 4, obviously. But this rifle approaches enemies very different. It has 5 big rounds in the mag, and you can potentially headshot an opponent with 2 or 3 shots, unless you one-shot their head because they're already hurt by somebody else that's causing them damage. But I'm using the mouse and keyboard, and I had to say, like, when I was using the controller, I had a hard time using this rifle. For Xbox gamers, they're not gonna have it easy, but for me, with the mouse, oh my god, guys, this rifle is overpowered. Like, I can't explain to you how much accurate shots I can pull, and sometimes I don't even pull accurate shots. I just tap fire the shit out of it and just down people immediately, and if I don't have enough rounds to finish them off, I just bring my pistol out to finish them off. But this rifle is very overpowered, and after reloading this rifle is very different. But I definitely like the fact that you're able to zoom in, and if it doesn't have a scope, you can zoom in pretty far away with this rifle, surprisingly. But I think Gears of War Judgment has a scope on it, but oh well. But this game, it's kind of unnecessary to have a scope, I guess. But I can't explain to the amount of crazy things I have done to people with this rifle. Like, some people don't even realize that I tap fire fast enough once I act the reload just to score a headshot real quickly, and they don't even see it. They can't even respond to it. And it's ridiculous how fast you can tap fire this weapon. But for any Xbox players out there, if you're good at this rifle, man, you are the real MVP, because this rifle takes skill with a controller. With the mouse, it's just so damn easy to use, but with controller, wow. Like, I remember when I first played with controller in Gears of War 4, I couldn't do it anymore. I just wasn't into it anymore. And I used a controller for such a long time too, but once I got into the mouse and keyboard, I couldn't go back to it. But anyway, guys, like, I'm just trying to say why it's such a huge advantage with a mouse with this rifle. It's absolutely insane, but this is definitely my second favorite rifle. It's just unbelievably overpowered, and it just kicks ass when you know how to use it. If you're trying to practice and use this rifle, then choose maps that require this, gun, obviously. And I just want to let you guys know that many players don't use this rifle because they don't understand it and think it's very complicated and very hard. So the chance of you picking up the rifle is pretty high. Now is number 1, and I'm sure many players out there know that they saw this coming, but the Longshot is my favorite weapon of all time for hundreds and thousands of reasons, and I'm sure many people know why. But to start things off, this is my favorite weapon of all time since Gears of War 1. There's something about this weapon that's just, I always have to pick up, and I always have to like guard and try to conquer and pick the weapon up before anybody else. But yes, it's not easy to use this rifle. It takes practice, but once you get used to it, man, you become absolutely insane. The Longshot could potentially be more effective than any pickup weapon, but that's only if you have the skills necessary to use this weapon. The truth is, every single weapon requires skill, but of course, I like to say the Longshot requires the most skill. Not only that, it's 8 rounds in the mag. Well, it's bolt action, for God's sake, but the fact that 8 shots, and if you could pull headshots like crazy, that's 8 times you're able to kill an opponent with a headshot. But the odds of that, it's not that easy. It's all requires on you if you're having a lucky day or you're just really good with it. There's like, every time you score a kill with a certain weapon that you picked up, like the drop shot or the boom shot, you get satisfied getting the kills with it. Well, you'd be satisfied if you had multi-kills, but nothing's more satisfying in my opinion than getting a headshot with the Longshot rifle, and I'm sure many players feel the same way as me, or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if many players feel the same way, that this is their favorite weapon, but this is definitely my favorite weapon, and this is definitely how I feel every time I get a headshot. I feel like I achieved something something amazing. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Just like, it's just a good feeling when you get a headshot, and especially if you get more than one. Like, if you could get away with at least 4 or 5 headshots, then you achieve a lot with this rifle. Some players don't get the chance to even do that because they don't understand it. Not only that, and when you have to reload this weapon, the bullet gets even bigger. So you have a bigger chance of getting a headshot than you are in active reloading. Of course, the most satisfying headshot with using Longshot is just blind firing, see if you get lucky, getting a headshot with it. But the odds of that, it's not easy, but everybody's reaction is priceless once that happens. But even hard aiming is pretty satisfying, getting a headshot over just scoping the rifle too. But of course, if you have a high sensitivity and you know how to pull those flick shots, it's just so cool. But this is why the Longshot rifle is my #1 favorite weapon, because I feel like it's the most skilled, and when you like potentially get a kill with it, it just feels awesome. You feel like you achieved something that most players couldn't achieve. But not only that, the fact that you can kill someone across a map without them seeing it, like a silent detonating weapon, it's just amazing. And I truly think the Longshot rifle is the most badass pickup weapon of all Gears of War weapons since day 1. Like, just there's no other weapon that gives me the satisfaction as the Longshot. But yeah, guys, if you guys were wondering what was my favorite weapons, now you guys know. But I'm very curious, what's your top 5 favorite weapons? Or it doesn't have to be top 5 favorite weapons. You guys can order as much as you want. But that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys really enjoy it. But I'm very curious in the comments below to see how many people, or like, what's their favorite weapons. I'm very curious what's your guys' #1 favorite weapon of all time, or even #2 or #3. I'm pretty sure most of it's gonna be the National Shotgun or the Longshot rifle. I could be wrong, but go ahead, guys, comment below and just let me know. But that's it for today's video. Bye bye.